Another class introduction video for my homebrew setting, Iron Bigot. Iron Bigot is my cool, personal, original content homebrew. It's my attempt at making a better fantasy tabletop to play. It's Bronze Age, it's good. I have been told that it is good. Iron Bigot doesn't offer Barbarians as a class. Barbarians have always been a little thematically clunky, and especially nowadays, have dramatically drifted away from the artifact-destroying, scared of arcane magic entity they were originally. Particularly in a Bronze Age setting like Iron Bigot, I see no need to keep them, save for as a cultural ethnic background in character creation. Iron Bigot has Berserkers. Berserkers are one of the martial classes available in Iron Bigot. Specifically, they are a high physical damage dealing, extremely mobile, angry meat shield. Berserkers' primary stats are strength, constitution, and dexterity. Berserkers are initially restricted to light armor, like hide and leather, but can wear a small selection of heavier medium armor at higher levels. Berserkers cannot use shields. I mean, they won't blow up if you pick one up, but you know what I mean. Berserkers also have the highest naked armor class, on par with even some of the bulkier druid beast forms. Berserkers have weapon proficiency in simple weapons, dual wielding, unarmed combat, and grappling, all of which deliberately synergize with each other. Berserkers lack the discipline to be proficient in martial weapons. This is not a problem though, as they have proficiency in improvised weaponry, and because Iron Bigot does not classify most large two-handed weapons as martial weaponry. The gameplay style of the Berserker is extremely simple and intuitive. Dive mindlessly into the middle of combat and make yourself the centerpiece. Absorb damage, deliver damage, be an enormous problem that nobody can afford to ignore. The primary class feature of the Berserker is to go berserk. Upon engaging in combat, a Berserker may go berserk and in turn gain a certain number of temporary hit points. These hit points do several things. They buffer the Berserker's existing health to help them survive, bestow the Berserker with what's called a negative death spiral. The more health they lose, including these temporary hit points, the greater stat and combat modifiers they'll have, including ones for attack, AC, movement, and bonus actions. Finally, any temporary hit points left over after combat go to restoring any actual hit points the Berserker may have lost in previous encounters. False starts cause exhaustion. You cannot pick a fight with a bug or a sack of flour to infinitely heal your Berserker. A Berserker may go berserk once every encounter. If a Berserker is brought to 0 hit points or less and hasn't gone berserk, they must go berserk. If a Berserker is poisoned, or drunk, or inebriated in any way, they must go berserk even if not in combat. They will make it a combat situation. Secondary class features include: Berserkers are resistant to fear, charm, and other mind-altering spells and effects, and roll against them using their strength stat. The Berserker cannot be mentally persuaded if they are not mentally present. Berserkers possess ranged and crowd control abilities in the form of throwing shit and yelling. Berserkers also have excellent action economy. Berserkers get a lot of bonus actions as a class feature. While it's absolutely not mandatory, it is encouraged to play the Berserker as a medium or large size creature to get the most out of the class. Mechanically speaking, that is, Berserkers function best when they naturally take up a lot of space, have a ton of hit points, weigh a lot, and have good reach so they can effectively cleave and harass entire rooms worth of enemies. A good Berserker wants to be surrounded so they can attack from every side. Granted, if you want to pick a halfling and play like a Beyblade covered in razor blades, the system supports it. Like, I'm not going to stop you. Finally, from a role-playing perspective, the Berserker is someone who has effectively weaponized their hysterical rage. This can be as nuanced as you want it to be, but the main thing is how and why your Berserker is so angry. Like, weapons-grade angry. Is it a drug-induced state? Are they in some kind of reach heaven through violence gnosis? Or is this a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation where you've quarantined the most fucked up aspect of yourself into a separate internal entity that you let out whenever something needs to die, and you're at the point where you don't actually know or remember which one is the real you, if that even, matters anymore. Anyway, there you go. Enjoy.